welcome everyone to today's meeting, the General Tag Contributor Strategy meeting. And let me look at the agenda. So two things were added here. It's a question regarding, and I don't know who added that, like a set up new section for, is that regarding the hold for the accessibility one?
Yes, I added. It's between me and Ali. We've been hacking at this. So out of we can't merge the PR for updating the front end because they haven't got anything behind the mentoring. And Chris said it would be hard to take out the label and bring the label back later. So we prefer to keep the label. So we said, but so if you look at the issue, there is a page for mentoring, and we can just stick that page behind the button for mentoring. So you can just merge the PR and hyperlink to that specific page, which goes to mentoring, which just relay back to our repo. If that makes sense.
Wait. The content there is fine. Do we need to move that page at all, or?
No, the idea is we want an actual mentoring there is actually a separate mentoring site, but we don't have time to fill the mentoring site, just revert to the repo. So we said, okay, maybe we should develop some content that goes behind that exactly that mentorship button. And then in yesterday's meeting, we said nobody got bandwidth at this stage to actually develop anything. And then we stumbled upon, but we already have a page that we can that's in this website. We can just hyperlink this back to the button. And then we're good to go. And because Catherine, I think you really want your website up so you can have your accessibility pages ready. So we don't want to block you. So if everybody's happy, mentoring, I think would be happy to just stick that hyperlink behind that button.
Okay, so you'll need to update the original the new navigation PR to point to a different place, because I think right now it points to contribute.cncf.io/mentoring, which doesn't exist.
Yes. So yeah, we'll just have to, okay, so we can run it past Chris. It's Chris's PR. I think you're right. We can just ask him to fix the URL to go there if there's no objections. That is, Ali, did I state this correct?
Yeah. So yeah, basically when we press this button, it should go to this contribute.cncf.io/about/mentoring. And then if the content for the accessibility is already good, then we can merge this quickly.
Yeah, two resources are ready, and then the about would be basically what we have in our charter, right? So
okay,
so that would be 3 pages. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay,
right.
and
I will reach out to Chris in his PR, Chris Abram, and ask him to just fix the URL from the issue into the PR, and then I think we're ready to merge.
Okay.
I can do that now.
Josh, you were also okay with that, right?
And yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to check on the content from for accessibility. So you have a landing page at whatever the URL is. Yes, no?
What do you mean with the landing page?
So each of those buttons,
this one, Josh.
Yes, that's about. And then we have we're going to have more sections, but right now we have event organizers, and there we have one resource, which is this one. And then we have deaf and hard of hearing individuals, where we have another resource, basically. And then we have other sections planned, but we haven't developed that yet. So I was like looking at the left navigation bar. So about would be there, then conference organizers, and deaf and hard of hearing individuals. Those are the three things that would be visible at this stage.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And the reason I would like to, because it's like we have sent the best practices to the CNCF events team and so on. It's just like more user friendly when it is on an actual website than GitHub. Like not everyone is used to GitHub, so it's just like making it easier on the people who are supposed to consume that. That's why I would love to see that.
Wait. Okay, but the idea behind this was that there was going to be an accessibility directory on the same level as contributors and maintainers.
What do you mean? There will be?
Yeah, so here, hold on. Oh, wait, no, I can't share my screen because Zoom is still messed up. So the idea of redoing the navigation was partly that we were going to have top-level directories, because currently we have top-level directories that are about contributors, maintainers, resources. And we're going to add top-level directories for accessibility and for mentoring, right?
Yes.
We're putting off the mentoring one. What I'm asking about is the accessibility one.
Yeah.
Like, is there a PR to create a top-level directory for accessibility?
Yeah.
We don't, I guess. So do we want to have an accessibility top level directory or deaf and hard of hearing?
Well, right now we don't have anything for mentoring, so we don't need the top level.
Right, but we're putting off mentoring. But the idea of putting off mentoring was because the accessibility content, at least the deaf and hard of hearing portion of it, was ready to go. So what I'm asking is it actually ready to go?
I think it is.
Mentoring, is mentoring ready to go or the other one?
No, the other one.
Okay.
Accessibility / deaf and hard of hearing.
No, we don't have that. We have deaf and hard of hearing top level directory here in the website, I think.
So accessibility, well, like, I mean, like we didn't want to call it deaf and hard of hearing in the top level because like the idea or the hope is that at some point, maybe some people are going to do something for blind people or whatever. So it's like, so deaf and hard of hearing will be a subsection of accessibility, right? Like we're planning, like we want to make this, So you have accessibility, and then under accessibility, there is deaf and hard of hearing. And right now we only have deaf and hard of hearing. And then we have 3 pages, right? Like the about, then best practices for conference organizers and tips for deaf and hard of hearing conference attendees. So we have 3 pages, and I think I think that's enough to kind of go live, and then we're going to build add more.
But what I'm saying is the accessibility page doesn't exist. Nobody's created a PR for it.
I'll leave that up to Ali because he's seen what Chris has done. I don't know, you can.
No.
So
well, Chris has as a placeholder. He doesn't have an actual page.
Yeah, so the we can import the, where is it? The deaf and hard of hearing charter page, I think, to the homepage. That is what I kind of that was my understanding as the homepage, the top level page for accessibility.
For now,
but
until we have better section.
I'm not okay with that.
Okay.
I think we don't go ahead with this change until somebody creates at least a general info page that would go under website content accessibility.
Okay, so I can create like a blurb saying like that is like for accessibility, and then that this is like a place where, you know, we can share best practices for different people with different needs. And then then you go and then click on deaf and hard of hearing. Yeah, and then it's more clear that this is a space where other people can contribute stuff for different disabilities, right? Make that really clear.
Yeah.
And maybe even call, you know, like ask people like, this is like, if this is you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the idea is, let's see, hold on. Where is the?
Let's work on this together.
Yeah, yeah. Because the idea is eventually to have, any deaf and hard of hearing content that we already have should then move under that accessibility folder. But we can do that a little bit at a time. We just need to have a page that redirects people to where all the existing resources are. So, okay. Okay, that's next steps. Cool.
And sorry, I forgot to share the screen because we don't share screens at the other meeting for obvious reasons. So it's like,
yeah, well,
okay. I think we're ready to move to working groups, unless anyone has something to say. Mentoring. Who is covering mentoring?
Okay. Nate is not here. Diane, maybe you can give an update, or I can talk a little bit about the website discussion, which is kind of related, but the LFX, I don't know. If anyone knows about LFX, yeah.
Yeah, so Nate is off getting ready to join the Google Summer of Code Mentorship Summit. And he's put a couple of notes in here, I think, that I don't know too much detail around. And then in the week after next, both he and I will be attending the Linux Foundation Member Summit. And I'm just curious if anyone else from this group is going. Maybe we could meet up and have a coffee. But other than that, I think that's all we have for an update today. Are any of you going to the Linux Foundation's Member Summit this time around? Okay.
No, they put it way too close to KubeCon.
Yep. Sorry. I still have a cold, so I'm not talking too much.
Okay.
So the website discussion, so this is basically the same discussion, but Nate, actually, like, we also had a discussion if we should have more content in contribute.cncf.io for mentoring. But as written there, Nate prefers not having too much and only having mentoring repository to be the one source of content. So that's probably the way we will go.
Okay, but if that's the way we're going, I don't see having mentoring as a top level directory. Or if we're going to have it as a top level button, it'll just redirect to mentoring.cncf.io.
We can directly, we can immediately redirect to the GitHub repo for mentoring, or we can show this.
And let me point out that mentoring.cncf.io is not a web page.
Yeah,
it's a GitHub repository. Anyway, we can hash this out later, but I don't know. That doesn't sound like a plan to me. But the
yeah, we can talk about that later.
Okay, so if that's it for mentoring, we can move on to contributor growth. I guess that's Ali again, or
just from my side, I'm still going through the AIs from last week. I'm a little snowed under, so I have not looked at. I don't have any feedback, but I see Noah added a non-code meeting there. Noah, over to you.
Yeah, so we finally got enough critical mass to get people voting on a poll, and the poll closed on Friday. We will be having a non-code meeting finally again. It will be Tuesdays at 8 a.m., which I'm not particularly happy about, but it is what it is because I'm not a morning person, but so be it. I will be there and happy to run this meeting. I did have questions about what tag resources we could potentially use for this. If we have Zoom available, if we have like a shared folder where I could stick Google Docs, things like that. Because it's been a while since I've run a meeting.
Yeah. Other things that happened in the last meeting was we talked some about website deliverables. And one of the things that I was there for was to solicit project criteria that we ought to have in the new maturity grid that the CNCF is working on around contributor growth. And the group suggested a couple of items. So the yeah, and that was what's happened in the last month.
Okay. Moving to governance then. Really pushing this through today.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is just status updates, right? It's stand up. It should be fast.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's fast.
We completed and got approved the governance review template. Ollie kicked off our next step in that, which is writing the self-assessment guide for projects, which will need a lot of work. I've linked there. That's in a development branch for our main repo, because it's going to need a bunch of text, because we have to explain in a lot of detail to projects what it is we're looking for. Because the idea of the self-assessment guide is the project goes through the self-assessment guide and they fix their own stuff before they even ask the TOC to assess the project at all. And that's just better for everybody. But they have to have some guidance on how to fix their own stuff. And we've done, we did a couple other governance reviews on various projects and merged them and that sort of thing. So and that's what's been going on with governance.
Okay. So next would be the deaf and hard of hearing working group.
Yeah, well, the one thing I'll say is I'll go ahead and take the action item to ping Dave about Maintainer Circle and whether or not he's still on that.
Awesome. Okay, lots going on here. So we published 2 resources, the best practices for an inclusive and welcoming conference, which we shared. We tried to push that through as soon as possible because we really wanted to share that with the Linux Foundation events team, because we will have 3 deaf attendees. So shared it with them. They're working on some of of course, they cannot do everything on such short notice, but it looks like we're going to have interpreters for the keynotes and interpreters available for them as well. So very excited to see that. And of course, we know it's going to be bumpy. The first time is always bumpy, right? But then it kind of improves. But overall feedback and support has been really positive, which is very exciting. And then we also published tips for attending or speaking at a conference that doesn't provide proper accommodation. So that was really good because someone who was hard of hearing was telling how she deals with it, and she's a public speaker, and how she deals with it. And I thought, like, there's so much great information there, and not everyone kind of does that, like the self-advocacy part of it. Like, a lot of people just are quiet and then go home and never express what they need, and so that is a problem because conference organizers will not find out, right, that is something that didn't work for them. So that's I really love that resource too. It's fairly short, but really good tips there as well. And coming soon, someone just published that on their own blog about captions, and this is a person who is deaf but not fluent in ASL, and then relies heavily on captions. And it was really interesting to hear his experience and how, in general, I didn't know captions were a little bit controversial. Like, people hate them, people love them. I just didn't know. So very interesting blog post as well, for people who are just interested in learning more. I don't know, I was thinking, should we have a blog post section? I didn't know what to do, but he published it in his own blog as well. I don't know, maybe we just link to that, because it's not we're gonna have in the website, we're gonna have different audiences, and people can, conference organizers, projects, everyone can exactly go wherever they want to go. This is more broad, so maybe we just link to that, and I would love for the CNCF to republish that on their blog post as well for visibility. And then the current focus is getting ready for KubeCon, of course. So as I mentioned, we have 3 DEF members attending: Destiny, Rob, and Jay Jackson. Ian might have to cancel, unfortunately. And we have some speaking engagements, which is really cool. So we have a lightning talk. We have our maintainer panel discussion. And then Destiny was also asked to be part of a keynote panel. It's not necessarily about accessibility, but they're going to talk about that. So really, really great to have a deaf person on the keynote stage, because that's a lot of visibility. And then I think I'm going to be like, I was invited for like a tag and something meeting. So but it isn't confirmed yet, but if that is the case, of course, I'm going to be talking about that as well. So that's kind of awesome, because we're going to hear a lot about this initiative, which is our goal, right? We want to really raise awareness that this is an ongoing thing and that deaf people are part of the community, that they're here. And so I'm really excited about all that. We're also creating like little stickers with a mascot, which have like the name of the working group and like a call to action, be an ally or something like that. So armadillos apparently are near deaf animals. So at least according to the internet. So that was kind of a good animal choice. And also working on opportunities to get more exposure. So interview will have Rob and Destiny at the Rancher booth, and they're gonna get some interview. They're doing, as you know, like these bigger conferences do. Companies do sometimes like live streams and so on. So if you have any suggestions, I see Josh reach out to the Cube. Yeah, that will be awesome. I'm also thinking of reaching out to several journalists or whatever that I know that I go there and just say like, hey, you know, we have this, we need more exposure. Do you want to be our media ally? And just see like what, like if they're interested. Like the more, since we have 3 people there, I just want to take any opportunity to get any exposure there. And I already told Rob and Destiny, it's not, you're not gonna come to relax, so be prepared. Okay, so we got like here access to chairs for the website. Does it mean they have now powers to merge? I don't know who wrote this. I assume that was Rian.
Oh yes, so I added, so this week Destiny's PR merged to giving them access. We have not tested. So in next week, we'll do a training session about the project board. I'll help her just figure out how the project board work and labeling and columns and so on. And so she'll be able to handle that. And hopefully soon we will have a PR that they can merge to test the access.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we're in really good shape there. And that's it. If there are no questions or comments.
Well, related to this, can we talk about the maintainer session for KubeCon?
Sure.
Since that's now less than a month away.
Yeah, so we started, I have to figure out, we started a Slack conversation, but Ian might not be able to go because their apartment flooded. So I have to check in, but like Rob or Jay, even Jay could come. Like Jay just confirmed that he's coming to the conference 2 days ago. So I'm not worried about that, but I just want to know what it is. Oh, and we did change the title from Maori to Deaf Engineers, just because with welcoming all contributors, we wanted to have the Maori and Deaf keywords in there, just because when people are seeing all these talks, you know, like how can you kind of stick out of all the flood of talks? And those 2 words are not very common. So we were hoping that that will help maybe drive attendance, maybe even beyond maintainers. And so, yeah, I haven't thought a lot about that because we're working with Destiny and a little bit on the keynote discussion. And I think we're going to soon prepare like the way we did it last time, you know, like have some questions. So I'll be moderating, right? And then we have Jay and Destiny, and then was Rob? No. Yeah, Rob. No. Oh no, Ian was supposed to be there. Yes, Ian was supposed to be there, and then someone else instead. So we'll have to come up with questions and kind of discuss that. We haven't done that so far, but we have a little bit of time still, but we should definitely start that conversation. I need to know if Ian is going or not.
Yeah. The So, okay. Yeah, we don't want to let it run away from us because we need to actually figure out what we're doing and maybe create a few slides and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll be gone the week before, the entire week before KubeCon. Not here, so definitely need to get that.
Yeah, so basically, in other words, we have 2 weeks to plan the session.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out. Now I thought it was. So yeah,
that's why I'm here.
yeah. So, time flies. It's just so crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna touch base with Ian and let them know that we need a definite answer so we know who will be on the panel. And then just start brainstorming questions and then mapping out what we want to say, and then God, yeah, KubeCon is closer than I thought.
Mm-hmm. Also, the other thing I need to do. Okay, right. No, we don't have a PS this time, right? We decided not to do that. So we don't need to schedule people for guests. We do want to do a schedule for people to sign up to canvas the project kiosks, which is what we decided we're doing instead. So I'll go ahead and create that. Well, I don't know, because we don't actually need to time it particularly. We just need somebody to do it during the morning session and somebody to do it during the afternoon session. It'll be more fun if 2 of us team up on it. So, so I'll follow up on Slack, and we'll try to coordinate, a couple of pair ups of people to do the canvassing of the project kiosks.
Sounds good. Yeah. And that is all. Like, also, I added for the getting the word out campaign. I just put here, like, I will pick that up once. The deaf and hard of hearing work is like, we've been doing a lot, as you can see. It's like, so it's very time consuming, but exciting as well. But yeah, so I think like once that is rolling and maybe things are on auto play as well, like because there are a few things that I wanted to do. I also wanted to like intro page with, I don't remember like which more like about people, and like we were discussing, you probably forgot, we discussed it several months ago. So I put all that on hold, but it's not forgotten. I just want to say. And then do we have anything that we can promote on social media?
A bunch, actually, down to the point where I think that we should figure out sort of a cadence here, right? Because I think we should do another round of promotion of the accessible conference guide. The guide to vendor neutrality has been merged. So we should promote that as well. And for that matter, let's see, how long ago is the roadmap thing? Because I guess it was a couple weeks ago. But like, I wouldn't mind plugging that again on social media, just because social media is so ephemeral.
Yeah.
Partly because I was literally plugging that in a project meeting just the other day. I don't think a lot of projects saw it because they're busy people. So yeah, so I think we should actually try to plan out like plugging something every 2 days. Oh, in addition to, obviously, we want to plug our session. We are now in the window of starting to plug our session at KubeCon. And for that matter, even plug the fact that we're going to canvass the project pavilion.
Yeah, so I of course can create something for the accessibility guide.
Mhm.
And I can also take the action item for the KubeCon like the panel discussion, just because since I'm part of it, I know what to say. Who would like to take the neutrality?
Yeah, I can write up a blurb for that. Unless
what
someone else
would
wants
you
to do
do
it.
here?
You wanna do
So this part, I don't know, like you prepare
We're writing
some
social media
content,
blurbs.
okay, and then give it to someone, or you just post it on
Yeah.
your own?
Well, we have a
Post
couple of accounts that belong to Tag Contributor Strategy, but mostly we're posting it on our own.
Okay.
It's basically you post it on your own, you share it in the social media channel from the Slack channel, right? So that the CNCF can share as well, and in the Tag Contributor Strategy channel. So all of us can see it as well and make sure. So basically we use one and then we try to amplify as much as possible. And that's why and we always want to rotate as well, like who does it, right? Because it's not always the same person. So the vendor neutrality guide, but you also mentioned something else, right? Like the roadmap, right?
Yeah, because we published that a couple weeks ago. We did one round of promotion, but only one. And I think it's worth doing another one.
Yeah, for all of these, like,
yep,
you could do 10. It's like, as you said, it just disappears. It's like just a fraction of the people see it.
Yeah, and so really, what I'd like to do is I would like to get us a cadence right where we basically every 2 days we're promoting something, right? Because I think we have enough between now and KubeCon that we could just keep promoting things. And the trick is, how do we remember to do that? Because our biggest problem on the social media promotion thing is that we put it off and suddenly it's, been 2 weeks and we actually haven't posted anything.
Well, now we have it listed here in the action items. I can try to remember, and like if we put names behind, like say like Josh, it's your turn, or like I can try to remember to remind everyone like when it's their turn or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I want to and then I forget. It's like...
Yeah.
Which one did you take, Josh?
Well, I was going to take vendor neutrality, but if you want to do that, you can do that.
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay. And then I'll just find the one that I wrote previously for roadmaps. Because I already wrote one for that. And we can reuse it. Because there wasn't anything wrong with it. It's just that, it's social media, it's ephemeral. People didn't necessarily see it the first time. Oh, does anybody know what the due date is for the monthly maintainer newsletter? When what the deadline is for the last one before KubeCon? Or have we already missed it?
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Okay, I'll have to find out then.
Maybe that's something we should put at the beginning of the agenda so that
we know when it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so because this is the document we look at once a month, so.
Okay. Well, we can ask.
Well, I can try, you know what I can do? I can try to put like dates behind when we want to post what. And I've done that sometimes before, that I just copy and paste the action items that are still pending in the chat and say like, this is still, you know, like just post it and remind everyone that that's still pending.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could work.
Okay.
Okay, am I muted? No, okay. I moved these items to the top then.
Okay.
Lots of action items. Okay. I think that's it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Does anybody have
It's a
anything
short-
else?
Lots of action items. I don't know. It's a lot of a short meeting, but lots of work. But it's good. It's good. Okay, I think if that's it,
Yep, thank you.
wrap it up.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.